Hi, my name is Leighton Cougar. I'm the director of Wild Spirit Wolf Sanctuary. We're a sanctuary dedicated to the rescue of captive bred wolves from people who have tried to make them pets. Our motto is that wild animals are not pets. Our mission is to rescue wolves from people who have tried to make them pets, give those animals a permanent lifetime sanctuary, and then use our sanctuary as an educational facility to help educate the public about the wolf, about the dilemmas of people trying to own a wild animal, and about the wild wolf. So why we rescue wolves? Today, with the internet especially, it's easy to buy any exotic animal. Wolves tend to be one of the most popular wild animals that people want to buy because they appear to be like dogs. But the simple fact of the matter is that wolves don't have any doggy desires or doggy daydreams. They're not made to please us. They're wild animals. And I like to make the point that there's only two kinds of animals in the world: wild animals and domestic animals. Every day we get phone calls and emails of people wanting us to rescue their wolf from them because they finally discovered that what they thought was cute and cuddly grew up to be a wild animal. And what happens to those animals? There's usually no other choice. Euthanasia is going to be the choice. However, oftentimes when we turn those animals away, they end up getting abandoned, abused, chained up in a backyard, even as much as being released out into the wild with the owner thinking that it's just going to revert back into the wild. Once they've been in a domestic situation, their equation about food is people give me food. So you go release a captive bred wolf that's been raised by a human into the wild, its first thought is, I got to find that person who gives me food, or a human that gives me food. And then what of course happens is it ends up in somebody's backyard or in somebody's ranch, and it's going to be shot and killed. Wild Spirit Wolf Sanctuary is located in the small mountain community of Candy Kitchen, New Mexico. We're at 7,500 foot elevation. We've got 3 or 4 different kinds of trees that grow in our community. We've mostly pine trees, some oaks, and a few aspens. We have lots of great rocky terrain for our animals to live in. We actually get the 4 full seasons. Wintertime is probably the longest season we get here. At Wild Spirit Wolf Sanctuary, when a wolf comes to us, it doesn't just get placed in a tiny cage where it's going to pace back and forth for the rest of its life. We provide large habitat enclosures. We put all of our animals in compatible pairs or family groups if we get a family group. Our habitats range from 5,000 square feet up to 1 acre for a pair of animals. We decide what size of an enclosure we're going to put our animals in depending on their age, their activity level, and whatever their personal needs may be. Very often they come to us injured or ill, so we do nurse them back to health before we would place them in a large habitat with a compatible partner. Once I got a phone call from a so-called sanctuary that needed to get rid of a wolf. And when I asked why it needed to get rid of the wolf, they said that it had escaped, and in the process of being captured, it bit one of their volunteers. So either it had to be relocated or executed, which made me very curious to think that that's actually a sanctuary that would choose to execute an animal just because it bit somebody. If an animal here at Wild Spirit bites somebody, it's because that's what wolves can do. And there's no way that we're going to execute it or try to relocate it just because it did something that it very naturally would do, especially in a capture situation where they're very frightened. I believe that the key to nature's survival is teaching our children and having something that our children can teach their grandchildren. At Wild Spirit Wolf Sanctuary, we believe that education is paramount. So we work diligently to get into the public school systems, public libraries, groups, clubs, organizations, and teach about nature, about the wolf, and about the wild. I spend a lot of time in the public school system, and I get an opportunity to meet hundreds, if not thousands, of kids every year. We're able to teach them a little bit of wolf behavior because they get to see that firsthand up close. And it's just really, in a lot of ways, it's a miraculous experience for a lot of kids. I know if I saw a guy like me come into the classroom with a big black and silver timber wolf when I was in elementary school or junior high, I would have said, wow, I want to be like that guy. I want to do that job. Often I'll ask kids, have you ever taken a walk in the woods? Oh yeah, hands go up. Sure, I've been on a walk in the woods. Well, have you seen a bunny rabbit? Sure. Have you seen a squirrel? Yeah. How about a deer? Sure. Have you seen a wolf? No. Why? Because they're the most fearful creature in the forest. They run when they smell a human coming. And it's important for me to let people know that the wolf family structure can only be compared to one other mammal on planet Earth, and that's humans. And what I love to tell people is one of the most amazing things about wolves, and we can learn a lot from this, is in the wolf world, there's no divorce, there's no spousal abuse, and there's no child abuse. We are supposed to be on planet Earth as nature's caretakers, and I think that's really important that we get that point across. It's a piece of paper. You can't have it. You can't have it. Do you remember what the third subject was? I'll pull it up. You're gonna eat my